If someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you are not sure you can do it, say yes. Then find out how to do it later. These are not my words. These are the words of Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group. Did you know that your true competitiveness lies outside of your comfort zone? Yes, your true career growth opportunities lies outside of your KPIs. They lie outside of your job description. Yes, they lie outside of your job card. You know, sometimes in life you have to take a leap of faith in order to come face to face with fates. There'll be something always in life. It's known as the duality of life. There'll be people that will be high and those who will be low. There are those that will be always ahead and there are those who will be behind. By the way, I've come to learn something, that in any career field, there are those people who are ahead of their time. And then there are those who are right on time. Then there are those who are behind their time. And then you have the non-starters. If I may ask, how would you describe yourself in your career right now? Do you feel like you are ahead of your time? Do you feel like you are right on time? You feel that you are behind your time? Or you feel stuck as a non-starters? Of all the people I've come across who grew exponentially in their careers, they all shared a common trait. They were all proactive. And I like telling people in most of my talks, I say, you know what? In every organization, you have 4 kinds of people. Number 1, you have those who make things happen. Number 2, you have those who wait for things to happen. Number 3, you have those who watch things happening. And number 4, you have those who scratch their head and ask, what is happening? How will you place yourself? Are you the type that make things happen? When the chips are down, you deliver the goods? Or are you the type that wait for things to happen? Or you're the one that is watching things happening, people growing, people moving forward? Or you are scratching your head and asking, what is happening? I've come to learn that a lot of people in their career are punching far below their weights. I'm here to meet a man or a woman who grew exponentially, who never punched above their weights. Let me tell you one thing. When Aliko Dangote decided to build the biggest refinery in the world, the gentleman was punching above his weight. His net worth was not even 10 billion US dollar then, but the project was going to cost him 3 to 4 times his personal net worth. That's what I mean by punching above your weight. We all know the story of David and Goliath. When the young shepherd David faced the giant Goliath, the boy was punching above his weight, but the rest is history. When Mo Ibrahim, a simple engineer with British Telecom, decided to leave the UK and come to Africa to start Celtel International, then he was punching above his weight. Everyone who has grown in life and career has punched above his weight. Welcome to Be Inspired with Pepe Minambo. Another great episode as we continue in our series on career growth and personal development. I've been so privileged this month to host Mr. Fabian, who has been so generous to share with us his journey of exponential career growth. I remember one statement he made when he quoted Nelson Mandela by saying, "Success will never lower its standard to accommodate you. You have to raise your standard to achieve it." During the monologue, I mentioned the fact that most people I've met in my life, they are punching far below their weight. If I may ask another question, is your job too small for you? Do you feel like you have outgrown your role? Now, to find out if your job is too small for you, and if you have outgrown your role, I will give you 5 signs that tells if the job has become too small for you and if you have outgrown your role, and then what to do next. Is your job too small for you? The following are 5 signs that tells if the job has become too small for you. Sign number 1. You have lost the mojo. You have lost the drive. You have lost the excitement. The job is no longer inspiring to you. You have no more fire in the belly. In fact, on Monday morning, you need a lot of prayers and recitation to get the passion to come to work. no more excitement, no more meaning. So that could be the first sign that says you have outgrown the role. The job has become too small for you. Is that the case? Sign number 2. The job has become so routine. You can do it with your eyes closed. No longer challenging, no longer stretching. The job is no longer placing a demand on your potential. It's no longer taxing your potential. It becomes so commonplace that you don't have to think to do it. In most of my forums, I tell my audiences, did you know that in this world, only 5% of people think? 15% think that they are thinking, and 80% do not think at all. So you don't need to prepare for the job. You don't need to think for the job. You just do it. Now, that's a big threat for your career, because anything that becomes so routine can be easily replaced by automation. It can be replaced by robotics. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, technology can replace that kind of a job because it's so routine that requires no thinking. If the job you do has become that routine, think twice. Sign number 3. Sign number 3 basically is that the people that used to respect you so much at work, the attention you used to get from your employer and your supervisor is no longer there. You're just being tolerated. They can't do without you. There are many more people who have learned what you do and they can do it at half the cost. You used to be a thought leader, a subject matter expert. You are no longer. The people can do without you. In fact, the frustration, the stress you're having on your job, either from your direct supervisor or the work environment, the employer is sending a signal, hey, move on, hey, go on. But you are sleeping on the job. You are sleepwalking. You're not picking the clues that it is time to move on, to transit to something bigger and more challenging. That's sign number 3. Sign number 4. You see, you feel that you got so much to offer, but no outlets. You got so much dormant, but no opportunity. Hidden strength, dormant ability, unused success, great ideas, great concept, great perspective, but no platform to express them. Then the place has become too small for you. You may think about a bigger challenge or a bigger place. And number 5 that tells that the job has become too small for you is that you have grown in skills, you have grown in maturity, in experience and expertise, but your welfare hasn't grown. You've done the same job for the past 3, 5, 7, 10 years. The job that you had after campus, the same income, the same benefit, the same welfare you had then when you were a single person, remain the same when you got married, when you got baby number 1, baby number 2, baby number 3. The job experience has grown, but the welfare hasn't grown much. That could be saying that the job is too small now. You may need to rethink. You may need to reimagine your career. Is that how you feel? Will you identify with the 5 signs I've shared? Number 1, you've lost the mojo, the drive. Number 2, it has become too routine, too frustrating. It's like you are size 12, but you're wearing a shoe that is size 9. And you are so uncomfortable in the job right now. Or number 3, you feel tolerated. Number 4, you got so much to offer, but little opportunities. And then number 5, you have not grown socially and financially in terms of welfare on your job. So if that's the case, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you. We have organized a career disruptive event on the 8th of July, right here in Kampala at the Golf Course Hotel from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. All the details are on the screen. You can get the details, the emails are there, the phone contact are there. Book your seat because you have limited space. I have 2 more guests, international transformational speakers, to challenge you to the next level in your career. When you come on 8th, we'll tell you what to do when the job becomes too small for you. We will be right back.
Hey, wanna race? Oh, we lost you.
You wish.
The Santa story started when we opened our doors nearly 40 years ago, with our roots deeply placed in the Catholic Church. We set out with the sole purpose of being the best provider of financial services in a sustainable manner, especially microfinance, to all people, particularly in rural areas. Over the years, we've grown into Uganda's biggest and fastest growing bank, with an asset base of 5.5 trillion, serving over 2.4 million customers and businesses in agriculture, microfinance sector, SMEs, women, youth and corporate segments. On our quest to drive financial inclusion, we've taken our bank closer to our customers with over 80 branches across the country and multiple banking channels, including over 6,000 agents, Center Mobile Banking, Center Online Banking, Center Visa Debit and Prepaid Cards, and MasterCard Platinum Debit Card. 2.4 million have written our story of becoming Uganda's biggest and fastest growing bank. The story continues.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Up to 10 million. Terms and conditions apply.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group.
Enjoy the beautiful game of golf for leisure or competition at the beautiful Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa. It's a hole-in-one from our world-class clubhouse with a first-of-its-kind pro shop to the right people on ground to make your golfing experience a classy affair. As you putt, drive and ace on the banks of Lake Victoria, this is Uganda's finest championship golf course.
Welcome back. Tonight we are doing the third and final part of our series on career growth and personal development with Mr. Fabian Kasi. On the first part, we looked at him as an officer at entry level. On the second part, we look at him as a supervisor and a middle manager. And tonight, we are focusing on Mr. Fabian Kasi as the CEO of Centenary Bank, or as a top C-suite executive. What got him to the C-suite? In fact, one fact is obvious, that he became the CEO of a reputable financial institution at only age about 36. That's being an outlier, because research shows most people get to that level in their early 40s or mid 40s, even later in life. So I'd like you to sit back and pick insights and perspective on Mr. Kasi's journey to the C-suite. So in our last series tonight, I welcome you back, Mr. Kasi, to talk to us about Mr. Fabian Kasi now at C-suite. So at entry level, you moved to middle management, and now you are at senior management. How did it happen the first time you became a member of EXCO? How did it happen?
Well, thank you very much, Pepe. As we've been sharing in the various series, you know, the most important thing and what can make you go to the C-suite is preparedness, the level of preparedness. We talked about, you know, first of all, the knowledge you need to have. We talked about the things you have to learn along the way, most of which you may not have learned from school or anywhere. The soft skills of communication, people management, motivating people, understanding them, and so on. All those are things, ingredients that go into the level of preparedness that you need for you to get to another level of leadership. But of course, you may have all of those. You may be prepared, but sometimes you may need some luck.
Okay.
You know, as they say, luck favors a prepared mind. So you may do all that, but if you are not lucky enough, you may not be able to get that opportunity. So there is need also to pray.
Pray. God comes in.
Yes, there is need to pray as well, so that as you go in there, you are protected, you are, you know, shown the way, and you are able to successfully, you know, manage. So all those things come to conspire, you know, came to conspire to put me where I am now.
Wow. So your time in career journey from officer to supervisor, manager prepared you for the big break at the C-suite. And then again, you mentioned something about luck, you know, God, favor. So being at the right place at the right time, maybe. That's right. And the right organization. That's amazing. Now, as a C-suite executive, I'm aware that you became the CEO of an organization at a pretty young age of 36, which is, to me, an exceptional achievement, because research shows a lot of people will advance to that level in their career in their 40s. Being at that level in your mid-30s, that's being an outlier. When you look back, and there's nothing about comparison here, but you look at peers that you began to get a career and where you went, are there things you can say, 1, 2, 3, 4 things that got me here this early, if you have to summarize again?
Well, I think, again, these are things that we've been going through. The key thing, you know, we talked about hard work. You need to have the hard work. You need to have the ambition. You know, some people may not have, you know, the ambition, or they get satisfied so easily. You need to be focused. You need to be ready and yearning for new knowledge, learning all the time. And as I said, all those things come to make you ready. And somehow they also made me ready at that age of 35, 36 to become the CEO of Finca Uganda Limited. You know, the very first licensed microfinance deposit-taking institution in Uganda. And we are proud to have done that. And since then, you know, it has been through consistency, the laws of accumulation, as we talk about them, have brought to bear, you know, the level of, you know, position where I am now.
I know for people to ascend to that level, sometimes it could be through a competitive process where someone applies and then go through all the interviews. But again, through a vote of confidence, whereby people have seen your work, people know about you, what you are capable of doing, your ability, and they come to you. I would like you, if you don't mind, to tell us, how did it happen for you to becoming the CEO of Finca Uganda? Did you apply, or were you headhunted?
Well, as you put it, it sometimes happens like that.
Yes.
So it happened to me, you know, like that in this case of Finca. I had been the finance manager for Finca. Then I went away to another country to be the CFO of a financial institution, a commercial bank for that matter. But the MD that I left behind, as he was leaving, he recommended me, he called me back to be the CEO. Wow. So that can happen depending on how you've demonstrated ability, your level, you know, of ability and preparedness. So you can be recommended, and that's what happened to me, you know, at that stage.
Now, Mr. Kasi, as we go towards the conclusion of our conversations, I'd like you to share with us your experience, because we are meeting you here as the Managing Director of Centenary Bank, a job that you've been handling for the past 12 years. It's been 12 years of growth, exponential growth. Will you take us through this journey of being at the helm of the biggest indigenous bank in the country, the fastest growing, to where it is today?
Well, no, thank you very much. Thank you. before I joined the Centenary Bank, I was at Finca, which was a much smaller, organization compared to what Centenary Bank was at that time. But I knew and I was confident that using the principles that we've been talking about, you can manage any organization.
Wow.
But ever since I joined in 2010, we've seen the organization grow by leaps and bounds. By the time I joined, we had about 700,000 clients.
700,000.
Now we have almost 2.5 million accounts with the bank. We had given out 350 million, 350 billion Uganda shillings. Now
In loans?
In loans. Now we've given out almost 3 trillion Uganda shillings. We had mobilized about 700 billion. Now we are in in the excess of 4 trillion Uganda shillings. When I joined, we had 37 branches. Now we have 80 and still growing. We were making money in the region of about 20 billion per year, 12 to 20 billion per year. But as we speak, last year we made 250 billion in 1 year, and we are seeing ourselves growing. But the most important thing is the number of people and families that we've touched, we've impacted, because the DNA of this bank is impact, first and foremost, before we can talk about how much money we are making in the bottom line and so on. So we've seen many people come and patronize us, come and partake in our services, and that's what we want to see, and that is the most important thing. It also goes to show, that in the work we do, we need to focus on sustainability. And sustainability means not only getting things from others, but also giving back and empowering and impacting. The way we empower our staff is the way we should be empowering our customers, everybody that uses our services, so that there is a give and take and mutual benefit. Everybody feels a winner. It should be a win-win as we do business. Every time we don't have a win-win situation, that business is not sustainable.
Absolutely.
And that's what we aim to doing.
Wow. Amazing. Numbers never lie. By just going through the stats, the way you've shared with us, where the bank was 12 years ago and where the bank is here today. In conclusion, will you tell us, when you look back in the past 12 years of being at the helm of this bank, the critical success factors of this transformation? Because this is really pure and total transformation.
Well, success factors of transformation, first of all, is building a team. When I joined, we worked with the people, with the team that I found in place. We worked on how we could make ourselves more productive. We've been working on how to transform our culture, a culture that aims at serving customers, a culture that aims at making everybody, impacted and happy, both internally, the staff, and externally, all the other stakeholders, the shareholders, the customers, and so on. That is the culture that we've been building over time, and we want to continue building on it. Building a culture and transforming a culture, is not an event.
True.
It is a process.
Absolutely.
And that process still goes on. And so far, we've seen what it has yielded. We believe that going in the same direction, we should be seeing many more things coming our way.
Wow. If the 12-year-old Fabian Kasi met Mr. Fabian Kasi today, MD of Centenary Bank, what kind of conversation these two people will have?
Well, if the two people met, probably the person today would tell the other one that maybe he wasn't... You needed to be probably more ambitious. You needed to be more, to share more. You needed to be more self-aware, probably, because at the early stage, some of the things you may take for granted. But there is a lot you need to understand. And when you are aware of yourselves, your weaknesses, your strengths well in advance, then you will be able to work on them early enough to be able to attain the greater levels that you want to attain.
But I believe the 12-year-old Fabian will give a big high five to the current Fabian and say, we've made it. We were ambitious, you know, we dreamed, we were competitive, we were prepared, we took advantage of opportunities, we were disciplined, we were accountable, and there we are. What do you think about that?
Yeah, of course, because you know, success is not, defined. It's not like I've reached now. You know, there is quite a lot.
A lot more to do.
Do. And you probably, if I did the other things that I mentioned, I probably would be at a much higher level now.
Yes.
But, so far so good.
Okay.
And maybe the two would say, carry on and do more.
Let's keep dreaming.
Keep dreaming. Yes.
As we wind up this series on career growth and personal development with Mr. Fabian Kasi, I believe we've learned invaluable lessons. Lessons that they do not teach us at Harvard Business School. They don't teach us at Makerere University, not at MUBS, not at Chambogo University or UCU or Ndeje University. Things you can only find in a place like this. Mr. Kasi say whatever got you here may not get you there. So when it comes to career growth, you may need to reinvent yourself. Then he says something again very intriguing, that what can get you to the C-suite is your preparedness. If I may ask tonight, how prepared are you for the next big thing in your career? What is the next big thing in your career, and how well prepared are you for it? You may watch the repeat of this show every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. East African time on NTV Uganda. Remember, we have a great date on the 8th of July 2023 at the Golf Course Hotel right here in Kampala on how to move to your next level, transform to full potential, and stop sweating the small stuff. You can also watch this show on YouTube at NTV Uganda or on Pepe Minambo TV. Kindly, to continue getting this inspirational insight, you can follow me on Twitter at Pepe Joe Minambo. As per our tradition of book reviews on every episode, last week I spoke about 3 books. I spoke about what they do not teach you at Harvard Business School. Number 2, what they do not still teach you at Harvard Business School. And number 3, Beyond Harvard, all inspired by the same author. So I still want you to go and get these books online or on local bookshops countrywide. Don't forget, until next time, be inspired before you expire. Good night.